Om Shanti. So, welcome all of you to the fourth anniversary of the
Om Shanti,
Values Workshop
bienvenidos al
Series.
cuarto
And as always, before we
aniversario
begin,
del taller de
we'll
valores.
spend a moment in
Y como
silence and
siempre,
invoke the
vamos
presence
a
of the
estar un
Supreme
minuto
Being.
en silencio y vamos a invocar la presencia del Ser Supremo.
So, welcome all of you to the fourth anniversary
Bienvenidos todos
celebrations.
ustedes a esta
And it's indeed a
celebración del
pleasure
cuarto
to have
aniversario y es
dear
un
senior
placer
Rajyogi sisters. Two of them are joining from Madhuban,
tener
our
a nuestras
campuses. We call them Madhuban
queridas
and Gyan Sarovar in India,
hermanas
Mount Abu.
mayores con
Welcome,
muchísimos
Sister
años de
Sharonah and Sister
experiencia,
Shireen,
la
both of you. Would you
hermana
mind
Charona y la
following
hermana
Sharon
Cherin
and
y la
Shireen?
hermana
Welcome to the
Tania.
poem in that. And also
Y
we have
ahora tengo
Sister
un
Tanya
poema.
who's joining all the way from Montreal. So thank you
También
so
tenemos
much
a
for
la hermana
joining.
Tania desde
And
Montreal.
we have it's a unique thing today. We have a few participants as well of ours. Sister Pooja is there, Sister Rena, Senem, and Michael Bhai. And all the other participants, welcome all of you. Actually, the speakers don't need introduction, but it's my
Las
duty to
personas que van a
tell you
hablar el
all
día de hoy
a
no
bit about
necesitan
them, as
introducción.
always. So let's start with Sister Sharonah,
Vamos a empezar
a
con la
very
hermana
senior
Cherona,
Rajyogi, a spiritual
una
trainer
hermana
with
con
a lot of
muchísimos
passion for
años de
self-development.
experiencia.
And as we speak, she is the director of the Brahma Kumaris in
Ella es
Israel
la
and also
directora
of
de los
Boston,
Brahmakumaris en Israel.
Massachusetts, where she started her journey of
Y
this.
ella
She
empezó
travels
a servir a los
extensively
Brahmakumaris en
as a Brahma
Boston,
Kumari's
Massachusetts.
resource person and is also a motivational speaker.
Ella
And
también
she's
es
edited
una
and authored books and
ponente
articles on spiritual
muy conocida
empowerment,
por sus
social development,
charlas de
and healthy
motivación.
lifestyle. So welcome, Sister Sharonah. Thank you.
Bienvenida, hermana
And
Cherona.
another Sister Shireen.
Y
So she is
tenemos a la
also an
hermana Cherin.
experienced Rajyogi
Ella
practicing for
también tiene
nearly
varios
30
años de
years.
experiencia,
And
más de
she's the
30
author
años de
of four
experiencia.
unique books. To
Y
name a
ella ha
few,
escrito
Soul Fitness,
4
Oh My
libros muy
Goodness,
únicos.
True Hollywood
Y el
Blockbuster, and
hermano está leyendo los
Experienced
títulos de sus
Divine.
libros.
And as all of us know, she's also the creator and
Y
presenter of
todos
Release Your
sabemos,
Wings YouTube channel.
ella es la creadora y
And she's also
presentadora
authored
del
three
programa
popular meditation albums and a
Relaja
deck
tus
of
alas
spiritual power
o
cards.
Deja tus alas
So
volar,
she
algo así.
also serves in the
Ella
Tampa,
también
Florida area of USA,
sirve
but right now
como
she's joining
instrumento en
from
la oficina de
Father
los
Howell, our
Brahmakumaris en
campus
Tampa,
called
Florida.
Madhuban in Mount Abu. So
Y
welcome,
en este
Sister
momento
Shireen.
nos está
Thank you. And
acompañando desde
our
la
interviewer
montaña
for
Abu
today,
en
Sister
Madhuban.
Tanya, who is
Y
joining all
tenemos a
the
la
way
hermana
from
Tania,
Montreal.
que
And she basically
que está aquí desde Montreal.
she began her journey with formal dance training, and she's followed by
Y
that a
ella
20-year career
empezó su
in live theater,
entrenamiento
a
como
performing arts
bailarina
person, and also that continues today in
y,
the form of being a certified Pilates instructor
y el
who
día de hoy
specializes
ella
in
es
movement re-education.
una
And she
instructora de
began her journey of
Pilates
Raj Yoga 25
certificada.
years ago. And in one answer, she says that to desire to better take care of herself and
Y
live
ella
with
dice
greater
que
compassion and dignity. That's why
desear
she's chosen the Raj Yoga form
cuidarnos a
for
nosotros
lifestyle practice.
mismos de mejor
And
manera
she also says that she
necesita
enjoys
una gran dosis de
demystifying
compasión
spirituality through
y
courses, workshops,
dedicación.
and retreats.
Y ella
And she is
también
a
es
regular
una
member
maestra de los
of the teaching
Brahmakumaris
faculty of the Peace Village Learning and Retreat Center in New York.
y es
And she
es
currently
miembro
resides
de
in
la
Montreal
facultad
and is a joint coordinator of the
mm,
BK Center there.
de los
So
instructores
welcome, Sister
de el
Tanya, as
Centro
well.
de
Thank
Retiros
you.
de la Villa de la
And as
Paz.
always, uh,
Y como
computer
siempre,
is a bit, yeah. So a few lines in the form of a poem.
unas pocas
I should just go
líneas
ahead. So
en la
both
manera de un
sisters,
poema.
Sharonah and Shireen,
Las dos
remind us of
hermanas,
the
Charona y
sacred
Cherin,
shrine,
nos
and looking at their
recuerdan
glittering, charming
de un
faces and the
brillo
spiritual shine.
sagrado que podemos ver en sus
Also,
caras y en
Sister
sus
Tanya, with her
sonrisas.
magnetic
Y la
presence,
hermana
indeed
Tania,
so
con
divine,
su presencia
makes
magnética
us
y
feel
divina,
this
nos
meeting
hace
truly
sentir
is the
que
Almighty's design.
Esta reunión ha
In
sido
this
diseñada por el Ser
materialistic world
Divino
where everyone just wants to dine and wine, these Rajyogis come with this spiritual wisdom
y a pesar de que todos
overflowing
solamente
as a
quieren ir a
wine.
cenar y a tomar vino,
This broken world
estas
order, which is now on
practicantes
the
de Raya
decline,
Yoga
where people
realmente
from their jobs are forced to
ayudan,
resign. God tells us, my dear child, everything here is
ayudan
indeed super
a las
fine.
personas que
Just let your attention and awareness
necesitan la luz
towards me
divina,
align,
y
so
algunas
that you get to
personas que están en
experience in
sus
your
trabajos
stage
los han
the incline, which in
forzado a
turn
que
makes your
resignen.
intellect broad, wise, and super refined. So with this, thank you so
Y
much,
con
all of
la
you,
ayuda
for
de
coming.
la práctica de
And
Raya
I'll pass it
Yoga,
on to
ellas
Sister
ayudan
Claudia
a
for the
todas las
official
almas a
welcome.
que
Over to you,
puedan
sister.
refinar sus intelectos.
Om Shanti.
Y la hermana Claudia le da la
Welcome,
bienvenida a las tres
Gabi.
hermanas que
Welcome
están
to you
aquí el
today.
día de hoy.
But good evening
Bienvenidas
for
el
some
día
of
de
you,
hoy.
and maybe you have a better
Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, dependiendo
weather
de
than
dónde
we have
están las
here, but it
personas.
is okay because we have so nice flowers with us.
Y
So all
tenemos
those
flores
pretty
muy bonitas
flowers,
el día de
we
hoy.
cannot have any better on a day like today. So I just like to
Y
welcome
no
everyone
podemos
who
tener
has been in this
mejores
program for so
el
many
día de
years.
hoy.
You know, to have a workshop for 4 years is not a small thing. And they're
Y
always here
haber
with us.
estado
So we have to
aquí,
really welcome all of them who have been here
les
with
queremos
us,
dar las
the
bendiciones,
speakers, the
la bienvenida
participants, and
y las
everyone.
gracias por
So it's
estar
a kind of a
aquí en este
pleasure to have
programa.
all three of you today
La
celebrating with
hermana
us
habla
our
de
four
cuántos
years
años
of
el programa ha estado en
workshop.
el aire,
So I like to,
el taller.
since you are so nice flowers, I have a quite nice rose flowers for you as well. So I like to
Y la
some
hermana
of
Claudia
this
tiene
flower.
rosas para
So
ustedes,
welcome you, all of you,
para darles la
and then
bienvenida a todos
take with you
ustedes,
some flowers and put in your garden. Okay,
para que lleven
so
algunas de estas
thank you for
flores y
being
las
with us,
pongan en
and
su
we are
jardín.
really
Gracias por
looking
estar
forward to
aquí.
hear from all of you. Thank you.
Es muy lindo tenerlas aquí con
Okay,
nosotros.
thank you
Gracias.
so much. And before we give on with, I'm sure you all are just awaiting for the mics to come to you, but it's a
Ahora
celebration, so
vamos a
hang on
esperar
for a
que
few
lleguen
more
los
moments.
micrófonos a
We'll
ustedes.
be showing you all of you all, because you all were an integral part of the workshop. So we'll be showing you all small
Ustedes son una
clippings
parte
of
integral de
the
este
entire
taller.
last year journey, which we had from 76 to 100 workshop. So I'll request Nikhil Bhai, it is a 6 minute, 6.5 minute video.
Le
And
voy
where
a
we'll be
pedir al
hearing
hermano
to
Nikhil
each
Bhai
half a
que
minute what Prad
pase
had to
un
say about
video
those values, all the
de
speakers. Over
las
to Nikhil.
highlights de
Thank you.
este taller.
So let's play the part also with reverence. With
Vamos
reverence
a
to the
desempeñar un
innate
papel
original
con
sin,
reverencia.
nature and intention, what it was meant for.
That the more you use your speciality,
Entre más usas tus especialidades,
the more it grows.
más único eres, más creces. Sentirse segura. Necesitamos dejar ir del deseo de qué es lo que queremos como un resultado. Y lo que tiene que ser mi punto de referencia en cualquier situación, este punto de referencia tiene que ser amor absoluto. Y un estado absoluto de benevolencia. Vamos a estar en nuestro autorrespeto, nos vamos a dar honor a nosotros mismos y queremos limpiar mi corazón, limpiar mi mente para tener un pensamiento sencillo de ser una lámpara de esperanza para los demás.
Because I think lots of us who come into spirituality notice
Pero
that
pienso
more
que muchos de nosotros que venimos a la
That's quite,
espiritualidad
I think, a sign of balance. The joy that comes from poems.
recibimos mucha alegría y esto es un signo de estar en balance. Saber que incremento la eficiencia cuando practico mi espiritualidad. Esto está manteniendo mi mente flexible y fácil. La disencia está adentro de ti. No vas a permitir que las circunstancias comprometan tu decencia.
In terms of exploration,
En términos de exploración,
it feeds you back enthusiasm.
es esto que te da entusiasmo.
Because there is a
¿Por
new
qué?
energy.
Porque hay una nueva energía, una muy simple de amabilidad, de amor, de ayudar a alguien en un momento de ayuda, de necesidad, un momento de necesidad. Ese momento que los retos vienen de atrás, nunca debes soltar tu divinidad y tus especialidades y tu manera de ser un ser divino, la flexibilidad, en vez de ser rígido, es para poder evitar a debatir y entrar en una disputa. Podemos ser flexibles con los valores, con las cualidades adentro de nosotros. No solamente de una manera podemos enfrentarnos a situaciones diferentes, personas diferentes, circunstancias diferentes. La integridad significa poder estar firmes en nuestros valores. Esto significa, dice el hermano Golo, sanar el corazón, el intelecto, y puedes ir profundamente en la meditación. ¿Por qué quiero innovar? ¿Y cuánta energía estoy disponible para poner en esto? ¿Y cuál es el premio? Y yo pienso, ¿vale la pena mi tiempo y energía haciendo esto? Es mejor observar, pero al mismo tiempo no absorber. Ese es el poder de acomodar. Entre más perfecta eres, más gentil eres y más silencio mantienes. Y cuando yo hago cosas buenas, no necesito que la gente vea nada, ni se dé cuenta de nada. Mi registro es con Dios, está con Dios. Cada vez que tengo criticismos en contra de mí misma, voy a detenerme, voy a fortificarme a mí misma. La simpatía generalmente tiene que ver con expresar qué tanto poder interno tengo para poder usar el aspecto de la empatía sin que nada me tome totalmente. Pienso que es ser transparente, y en ese sentido, donde no es solamente honestidad, pero es transparencia. Tenemos la habilidad de discernir. Si respondo un error con otro error, no tengo la responsabilidad de ser transparente. Tal vez tu energía necesita más amabilidad, más amor. Porque para ser una persona proficiente a nivel espiritual, tu nivel de conciencia tiene que poco a poco ser renovado.
Okay, wonderful. So thank you so much, Nikhil Bhai, for
Muchas
reminiscing all
gracias,
the
Nikhil
experience
Bhai,
and the
por
moments which
el
we had.
video y los recuerdos de todos
Stop
estos
sharing your
momentos
screen
con
so
este
that we
taller.
can see the
Y ahora
participants.
vamos a
Thank you so much.
compartir
And
la
now it's over to Sister Anu.
pantalla
We are
para
doing
ver los
something new and different. Over
participantes y
to
ahora
you.
le damos la palabra a la hermana Anu.
New or different, but I think it is
Nuevo,
important
diferente,
that we
pero
celebrate,
pienso que es
truly
importante
celebrate,
celebrar
the core values of
verdaderamente
this profound
los 4 años de este programa de los valores. Sin la presencia de todos los que están aquí en este programa el día de hoy, me gustaría tomar una sesión para solamente nombrar a todas las personas que están en el equipo.
The emails, WhatsApp invitations, preparing
Todas las personas que participan en cada detalle, los que ayudan a preparar a las personas que están haciendo la interpretación, los que envían los mensajes de invitación para los ponentes vía WhatsApp y toda la información que se necesita.
The participants who attend every week can see, but at the same time, the
Al
very
mismo
first thing
tiempo,
we'll do is to
la
honor
primera
those
cosa es
participants who
estos
attended regularly every
participantes
workshop without
que
missing
siempre están en
one. And
estos
they shared their
talleres, nunca se
deep,
pierden ningún
understanding
episodio
experiences about values.
y
So we
podemos
start with that.
tener estas
There are so many.
experiencias
Each participant
ah,
would love to invite, but I think we
maravillosas.
want to also listen to our speakers.
Y también podemos
Their
ahora
thoughts
escuchar a
about
nuestros
the values. So we've chosen
ponentes.
just a few who are very regular. We'll start with, I'll put all of them. First, Sanam is joining from Europe.
Sana está aquí desde Europa. Ella siempre está aquí sin falta.
Rehna, always there with us from
Rena siempre
India.
está aquí con nosotros desde la India.
BK Michael is
Y
from Europe.
tenemos
No matter
a
where
BK
he
Michael
was, he's
en
joining today
Europa.
from India.
No importa desde
And
dónde
as I
está,
always
hoy
mention,
está aquí
it's
desde la
just
India.
simple love for the values that has brought us
Todos
together.
tenemos mucho amor
invitation is
por
for
los
all of
valores
us.
y eso es lo que nos ha traído juntos.
Your insight, that experience with Values for Life series. And after that, of
Nos
course,
gustaría
Puja,
escuchar acerca de su experiencia con
after the
esta serie de
participants
los
done.
valores
Puja,
por la
something
vida.
special I'm going to mention later. So let's first listen to first Sanam.
Thank you very much. It's just so wonderful to be with you all again and again
Es
every
muy
week.
maravilloso siempre estar
Yeah,
aquí con
and I must
ustedes,
say,
todas las
happy
semanas, siempre.
fourth anniversary to
Feliz
everybody.
cuarto
Thank you so
aniversario
much.
para
And
todos.
this one loves the discovery of
Esto
the
ha
beginning, the
sido
middle, and the end, if I
un
may say.
descubrimiento del
Today's a
comienzo, el
summary,
medio y el
was a
final.
summary of the values that we have, and we had a beginning, and we have a middle too now. And
Tenemos el
the
comienzo y tenemos el
experience,
medio
beginning was
de la
like always an
experiencia.
icebreaker video, or it's a lovely
Siempre
poem for
empezando
the speakers
con
that has just
un
such a
video
great
para romper el
experience and
hielo
experience.
o un
And
poema
the
hermoso para
middle where we all
los
step back and just observe
para las
the
personas que
wonderful
están
speakers, all the
participando.
wise words they share with us. And
Y
we take
siempre
with us.
disfrutamos mucho la sabiduría de las
Yeah,
palabras de los
and
ponentes,
of course, in the
toda
end,
la
all
espiritualidad que
questions were
traen a
answered.
estas
Yeah, that's all I can
reuniones,
say.
donde
Lovely
todas
thinking with
las
all of you.
preguntas que la gente
Bye-bye,
tiene son
everybody.
respondidas.
Sanam. We hear from Rehna. You're muted. Don't.
Okay, Om Shanti, and a happy fourth anniversary from me as well. So what I would like to
Feliz
share
cuarto
about this
aniversario.
program
Lo que
was,
me gusta
the
compartir
first
acerca
time
de este
I
programa,
joined this program was because I
el
came
motivo por
across
el
a flower
que
in one of the groups
disfruté
which I
este
follow on
programa,
social media, and
encontré
it was Jayati Didi's class,
un
and
flyer
that is why I joined because I
en
wanted to
los
listen to
medios
her.
sociales y yo
And
quería
then
escuchar a Yanti
after
Didi.
all the sessions that I have attended,
Y
this
después
was
de
way back
todas las
in late
sesiones,
2021, if
esto
I
fue,
remember correct. And after a while, I got disconnected
y
from it.
después
But then in July
me desconecté de
2022, I
esto,
got a chance to
pero en julio
attend all kind
del
of programs that they asked for
2022
being a
tuve la
facilitator, and I attended
oportunidad
the same.
de participar en
And I
algunos
was
programas de
very,
Vihasa
in depth. I was I would say, impressed and convinced about the utility of this program. And after that, there was no
Y
looking back.
después de esto, no quise dejar faltar al programa, mi participación del programa. Y más allá de esto, en el pasado, hay muchas cosas que quiero compartir con ustedes, pero pues no tenemos el tiempo. He sido una parte de muchos servicios de grupo. Y la gente me dice, estamos haciendo esto y otro. Yo nunca digo no a nadie. Pero puedo ver cuál es la gran realidad y qué soy capaz de hacer y qué tanto tiempo tengo para dedicar. Y cuando invitas mucho conocimiento y lo compartes con la gente, yo pienso que este es el servicio más grande que puedes hacer. De acuerdo a nuestros estudios de los Brahma Kumaris, Dios nos ha dado el criterio de qué es lo que debemos hacer. Tenemos que estar contentos con nosotros mismos y con el tipo del servicio que estamos haciendo. Y que la gente a la que le servimos estén contentos con nosotros. Los compañeros con los que estamos haciendo Seva estén contentos con nosotros y que así Dios estará contento con nosotros. Y en mi experiencia, he sido parte de muchas cosas, muchos programas. Estaba haciendo un programa yo sola, sí, muy parecido a este, inicialmente. Y después muchas personas quisieron ser parte del programa. Pero este ha sido el programa que se ajusta mucho a la Murli.
And Sister Pooja, I hope our speakers are not minding and
Nos gustaría también escuchar al hermano Michael. Gracias por compartir. El hermano Michael está en Ganserover. Y estaba con Sharonah y con Janti Ben en el primer piso. Felicitaciones por este programa de valores porque es maravilloso. Es un programa maravilloso para crecer espiritualmente. Te ayuda a entender lo que significa ser consciente del alma. Y siempre decimos mi Baba, y Baba me dice mi hijo. Y de verdad, felicitaciones, felicitaciones, felicitaciones. Queremos felicitarlos porque nos hacen sentir familia, porque son muy profesionales, porque me siento muy activo cuando estoy participando con todos ustedes. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Felicitaciones, 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 Om Shanti.
Congratulations to you and each of us. Thank you. And
gracias, hermano Michael, dice la hermana Anu.
That once the exercises are decided, planned, it comes to life. So that beautiful, beautiful presentations and images. So also prepares the summary of every talk that we attend. It's so beautifully included.
Gracias, gracias. Hemos tenido sumarios de todos los programas que hemos hecho. Ha sido muy bonito.
You don't know who prepares it, but you enjoy in every workshop. That's Pooja's. Thank you, Pooja. You would
gracias.
Like to say a few words.
Pooja, ¿te gusta decir algo? Muchas gracias, hermana Anu, por tus palabras amables. Ha sido mi honor y placer ser parte de este programa por 4 años. He disfrutado muchísimo, es hermoso escuchar a los ponentes. Este programa me ha hecho una mejor persona en estos años y por eso me considero ser una persona muy afortunada de tener la oportunidad, haber tenido la oportunidad de ser parte de este equipo. Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you.
Muchas gracias a todos ustedes por hacer esta celebración muy especial.
Hand it over to Sister Tanya to take it over with our program.
Thank you. And I also want to offer my congratulations.
Gracias, dice la
It's really
hermana Tania.
extraordinary to be able to continue to
Quiero
sustain something for 4
felicitarlos
years.
como
It's not a small thing. And
es
what I
increíble que
feel
han
is this is
podido
much more
mantener
than a
este programa.
series. It's a movement, and that it's
Esto no es solamente una
allowing
serie,
many
pero es un
to
movimiento.
progress, to make spirituality much more present in their lives through this value-based education. And of course, the thing about education is that
Es
it increases
maravilloso
the
tener
value of the one
esta
who's studying it. So it's really
educación
not just about
basada en
learning
los
about
valores.
values, but actually increasing the value of the self. And I
Y
think that will
estamos
be
incrementando el
probably one of the things
valor
we'll be
de
exploring
nosotros
and looking at
mismos.
today. And very excited to have two
Estoy
sisters,
muy,
Sharonah
muy,
and
muy,
Shireen.
muy,
Maybe
muy
to share a little
feliz y
secret.
emocionada de estar
This
aquí
is
con la
actually
hermana
Tanya is my
Shireen y con la
second
hermana
name. My
Sharonah.
first name is Sharon. So
Mi primer
I feel like
nombre es
the
Sharon.
connection and complicity with you. So 3 sisters. And so I'd like to start this exploration by
Me gustaría empezar esta
perhaps,
exploración.
we've heard so many values covered and perhaps even
Hemos
more than
escuchado
once. I
muchos
don't even know if
valores
there's
que han
that many values.
sido
But so many
discutidos
values have
en
been covered
este
over these
programa
past 4 years. And
en estos últimos 4
maybe
años.
is there a key value? And I like
Y
the
tal
word
vez hay un
key because it
valor
suggests that
clave.
it's unlocking and it's giving access to. But is there a key value that allows
Pero debe
you
haber un
to,
valor
you
clave
would perhaps put your focus on? Because there's so
en
many.
el que
But
te
is there
puedas
one that,
enfocar.
perhaps that you could tell us about that
Uno
for
del
you
cual
you
tal vez
find very
me puedas
important,
contar
very
que sea muy
essential, that
importante, muy
allows you to
esencial
unlock many other things, and that also helps to support
que
your
también
spiritual
ayuda
practice, your spiritual journey,
a
because
ser
I
un
think definitely
soporte
expressing
para tu
values
crecimiento
is what makes
espiritual, en
spirituality
tu viaje
accessible to people.
espiritual.
But
Y
we want
puedes
to
hacer esta
take
información
us deeper
accesible
into
a la gente
spirituality because I
también.
think that is a very important element.
Yo
Is how
pienso que esto
can
es
we
un
increase this
importante
aspect of
elemento,
spirituality
cómo
in our lives
podemos
through the
incrementar la
expression of values?
espiritualidad en
So
nuestra
again,
vida
the question
a través de
is
la
there a key
expresión de los
value for you
valores.
that perhaps unlocks or allows you access to that deeper spirituality? And we can
Hay
start.
un valor
Shireen, you've got
clave
your
para
mic
ti
open,
que
so why don't we
que
start
te
with you?
ayuda a profundizar en tu
Hello, everyone.
espiritualidad. Hola a
Warm
todos,
greetings
dice
from
la
Panda
hermana
Bhavan.
Shireen.
And as you probably read,
Saludos
when you
desde
come
Panda
to
Bhavan.
Madhuban, you get a fruit, and that is a cold. So,
Cuando llegas a Madhuban, recibes una fruta
it's
y eso
always
es
there.
una
It's an
gripa.
ever-present fruit that everyone gets, a cleansing. I love that
Es una
question, actually,
limpieza.
and I've been thinking about it. Do you know
Me encanta
what
la
old
pregunta.
psychology says
Y la
is
psicología dice
that
que
the will to
¿Qué?
survive is the most prevalent thing about someone. But
Que
what
el
new
deseo de
psychology
sobrevivir
says,
es lo
cognitive
más
psychology,
prevalente
they
de una
say is
persona.
that to the wanting to keep everything familiar is
Pero
the most
querer
important thing
mantener
that
todo
people
familiar es lo más
do, right? They want
importante
to
que la
keep
gente
everything
hace.
familiar. That
La
is
gente quiere
the
mantener todo
prevalent,
familiar.
dominant thing that people want to do.
Eso
They
es
want to keep
prevalente y
everything familiar.
dominante lo que la gente quiere
And
hacer,
so
mantener
I
todo
feel
familiar.
to acquire any value, that's the
Y si
first thing
queremos
we have to
adquirir
let
un
go
valor,
is the familiarity.
lo
And
primero que
for that,
tenemos que
I
hacer es
feel
dejar ir de la
fearlessness.
familiaridad.
Fearlessness is a very, very
Y
important
tenemos que
value
hacerlo sin miedo. Por
for
eso yo pienso que
cornerstone
ser
of all values.
personas sin
Countering the fear
miedos
of
es uno de
change.
los valores
Yes,
más
countering the fear of
importantes que
change,
podemos
countering the
tener.
fear of wanting to keep everything familiar.
Thank you. Very, very interesting. Sharonah. and for
Om
you.
Shanti. Yeah, Om Shanti, everyone. I also appreciate the gathering very much. I appreciate your question, Tanya. And it's interesting what you were saying, Shireen, because
Es importante lo que estás haciendo. Puedes acumular el miedo. En la entrada del punto es honestidad. Y toma un gran valor de perder el miedo, ser honesto. La honestidad con Dios es muy importante si tienes una relación con Él.
But otherwise, you can just talk about honesty to your highest self.
Pero aparte de hablar con Dios, puedes hablar, tener honestidad con tu ser, con la versión de ti misma, tu versión perfecta de tu conciencia, lo que se conoce en inglés como higher self.
The mind doesn't care. And the mind
a la mente no le importa. Y la mente te va a llevar en diferentes direcciones. Lo que sabes que es correcto y lo que sabes que es incorrecto. Hoy la hermana Yanti estaba diciendo en la Murli que nos hace esfuerzo, personas que hacen el esfuerzo doble. Y ella estaba diciendo, una cosa es tu esfuerzo afuera, tu rutina y todo eso, pero lo más importante son tus esfuerzos adentro de ti mismo. Estás haciendo lo que tienes que hacer para poder proyectar la imagen de quien tú eres. ¿Qué estás haciendo para incrementar tu crecimiento espiritual?
Of her video and let's see.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm being recorded. Let's see.
El video de la hermana
If you can
Sharonah
hear
no
us,
está
Sharonah, if you can
funcionando.
close your video for a moment, that might help in terms of the, well, we'll invoke her.
Yes, we'll invoke her
We'll
back.
invoke her to come back from the magic land.
Queremos
Maybe we can
invocarla
sort of,
desde la
trampoline off
tierra
of,
mágica.
where I felt that was perhaps taking us is, in a way, we look at spirituality and the values, expression of
La
values as
manera en que
moving us
miramos a la
towards truth,
espiritualidad y a la
towards our truth.
expresión de los valores
The qualities that both of you share definitely are connected to that. And in a way,
de alguna manera.
to not be able to express values, to not be able to
Y cuando
connect
no
to
podemos
that,
expresar
spirituality
los
is
valores
what's
y no
blocking us
podemos
from that truth. And
conectarnos
so
con
the fear of
a
change,
los
the fear
valores,
of
eso es
not
lo que nos
keeping
está
things as they are,
bloqueando.
just wanting to keep things the same, can actually be a block to entering into a
Cuando
place of truth
queremos
that we're going
mantener
to
todo lo
experience
mismo,
ultimately, which
eso es
is
un
perhaps,
bloque.
why do we want to express these values in our
¿Y
life?
por qué
Why do we
queremos
want to
expresar
connect to our
estos valores? ¿Por
spirituality?
qué queremos
Is we
conectarnos con la
want to
espiritualidad?
have that deep peace. We want to be
Todos
happy in
queremos
our lives.
esa
We want to feel our
paz
lives have a sense
profunda.
of value and purpose.
Queremos que
And
haya
so,
un sentido de valor y
in terms of
propósito en
that,
nuestra vida. Y en términos de esto,
how can I,
¿cómo puedo
deal
yo
with this fear? And perhaps, and Sharonah was talking about it, but let's look at what you had brought
enfrentar
up,
este
Shireen,
miedo
this
o
aspect
estos
of the
miedos?
fear that is blocking us. How can we
Este
get
miedo que nos
beyond that?
está
What, for
bloqueando,
you,
¿cómo
is some
puedo
of
ir
the
más
ways
allá
that
de
you,
eso?
if you ever feel a
Si
sense of, it can be
sientes
subtle, that fear that's coming, that is somehow becoming an obstacle to
ese
reconnecting to
miedo
that
se está
place of
volviendo
value
un
and truth.
obstáculo.
Right. I want to share a couple of things. One, let me very briefly share. All of you
Quiero
heard of the
compartir
Pride and Prejudice
brevemente.
by Jane Austen. All of Jane Austen books have a lot of gyan in them.
está hablando de Jane Austen
So in one of the books,
y dice que en uno de los libros,
Pride and Prejudice,
en
Lizzie
Pride and
and Jane are
Prejudice,
sisters, and Jane is getting married, and Lizzie goes
Jane
to
se
her
va a
and says, "I'm just
casar y su hermana,
and Jane says, "Oh, I wish you as much happiness as I have," because she's very happy she's getting married.
entonces
And
ella le dice, te
Lizzie
deseo
says,
tanta
"I will
felicidad como
only
la que yo
have your
tengo."
happiness if I have your goodness." And so
Lizzie dice, me
values,
gusta,
right? They're not
no
the
quisiera,
intrinsic, all of the
lo que sí me
values, they're not
gustaría
in and
tener es la bondad que
themselves
tú tienes,
valuable.
más que
They're
tu
valuable
felicidad.
because they bring happiness and goodness and love and peace and all of those things into our lives. And so,
Entonces, los
and
valores son
I remember
importantes porque
always that
traen
line, right? If I
felicidad,
have your goodness, I will have
amor,
your happiness. And so if I
contentamiento y
have
todas
your
estas cosas
values, I
buenas
will
en
have
nuestras
your
vidas.
happiness. And so if
Si yo
someone has a
tuviera los
lot
valores
of
que tú
values,
tienes,
like
yo
let's say any
tendría tu
of us are, you know,
felicidad.
I have their values, then I will have their happiness. You know, it's not something I can grab. Like I can't grab a position and think I'll have happiness because of
No
it.
puedo
I
agarrar
have to
algo.
really inculcate values. So that's
Necesito
one thing I wanted
inculcar
to
los
share. And the other
valores.
thing
Eso
is
es una
about
cosa
fear,
que
right?
quería
There's a
compartir. Lo otro es
very
el miedo.
cliche that goes around saying
Hay mucho
fear is
cliché
false evidence appear real.
y el
And
miedo
even though
es
it's a cliche, I
evidencia
feel it's
errónea
so
de
important to look at fear in the face. That
es
in
importante
our
mirar
lessons,
al miedo a los
the
ojos.
Supreme talks about paper
El Padre
tigers
Supremo
and, you
habla
know,
de
real tigers, right? Fear or
paper
even values,
tigers,
right? The fact that
tigres
I
de
don't
papel y
want to
tigres de
inculcate a
verdad,
value or I
¿no?
don't want to change anything familiar is almost like a paper tiger. I have to face it head on. I have to go
Necesito
close, and then
enfrentar
I realize,
estos
no,
tigres de papel.
I think it's a real tiger. And then I go close and I realize it's just a paper tiger.
Y
And so
me
I
acerco
feel
a
that
mis
it's
miedos y me
so
doy cuenta que
important
son
to just do it,
figuras de papel. Es
because
importante
values
enfrentar los
actually can
miedos,
be acquired, right?
porque
We are
los
not
valores se
always
pueden adquirir.
blessed with the best upbringing or blessed with the, you know, the nature of the world that we are in. We're not always blessed with these things.
No
And
siempre estamos
so the
bendecidos
right
con estas
circumstances, all of
cosas.
that. But in this time and age, right
Pero en esta
now, right?
época, en este
Right now,
momento de
the most
ahora,
amazing thing about this
lo
time
más
is no
maravilloso
other
de
time
esta
in
época de
history
la
has there
confluencia
been a
es
reason
que
why I want
no
me to
hay
change and just
otro
have a bunch of
tipo
distractions,
en la
right? I could
historia
just
por
scroll
el
through all of
cual
social
no
media,
voy a
shorts, and not do
cambiar y voy
anything.
a perder mi
I'll just
tiempo
invite
en
you to
medios
slow down a little bit.
sociales.
I'm thinking of the translators.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'll slow down.
Te estoy invitando a que bajes la velocidad estoy
Okay, so
pensando en
right
las personas que
now
están
is a
haciendo
time where
traducciones.
distractions are max, right? Like you don't need to do anything. You can just give into your comfort zone. You can
Ahora
sit and scroll through whatever you're scrolling through. But right
es
now
muy fácil
also,
perder el
this time period
tiempo
is the time
en
period where we
los
have
medios
access
sociales o
to the
con
most amount of
scrolling
change,
down, como
the
se
most
dice.
amount of transformation that we can make. I
Pero
loved
esa es
what
la única
Sister
época
Sharonah was sharing, right?
del ciclo en la que
I feel
podemos
God's presence is important,
transformarnos.
but if you don't believe in God,
Yo
whatever
siento
your
que la
higher power
experiencia
is, higher
de
growth
Dios es
is,
importante.
to invoke that and to really bring about self-transformation, because
Necesitas
now is the
invocar eso
time
y
to do
traer la
that.
autotransformación. Este es el momento de la
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. I think the
autotransformación.
time is
Gracias. Yo pienso que el
supporting
tiempo
everyone,
está
realizing that, you know,
ayudando
the
a
distractions can
todos.
only take you so far,
La
and then you're
destrucción
still
solamente te
stuck
va a
with, well,
llevar
where
hasta
am I?
cierto
What have I got
punto
going on internally?
y después
Outside
vas a
cannot help
estar
me. And I think
estancada
this is a big
en qué
issue of,
es
you
lo
know,
que me está
even what we're
pasando
taking support
internamente.
from,
Lo de
if we're
afuera
taking
no
it
me
from
va a poder
distractions,
ayudar.
it's almost like the
No
margin,
podemos
it's
estar
getting less and less in
distraídos.
terms of how much that's ever going to really be able to distract me from facing the things, facing the fear, facing the
No debo
uncertainty.
estar
You know, and this is
distraído.
a point that
Necesito
I definitely will look at in a
encarar
moment.
el miedo.
But, you know, there's this aspect of, yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to say about empty
Solamente
calories,
quería decir acerca de las
right? Like let's
calorías
say I go and have
vacías.
like a whole bunch of cakes and stuff. and that's all I
let's
keep
say
eating.
que
Every once in a
solamente
while I eat a
como
cake
un
from
montón de
home, but that's all
pastelitos.
I eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and eventually it will
Pero si
show
solamente como pastel para el desayuno,
on the
almuerzo y
body, right?
cena,
It will show on the
eso va a
body.
mostrar en el
The body
cuerpo.
will start breaking down.
El
And it's the
cuerpo se
same
va
way I
a
feel with
corromper,
these
se va
distractions.
a
Every
llenar de
once in a while you
enfermedades.
are indulging
Y
in
lo mismo es con
distractions,
las
no problem. But
distracciones.
if it just
Si de vez
becomes a
en cuando
routine thing,
estás
our window of opportunity for
distraído, está bien,
self-transformation keeps closing.
pero si te
Absolutely.
quieres
It
transformar y
is a window
tu
that
ventana
is
de
getting
oportunidad
smaller
para
and smaller.
transformarte se está
In
cerrando,
terms of
esto es
that
algo que
transformation, definitely
necesitas
values is a wonderful
hacer.
way, an entry point. Because sometimes
Los valores
spirituality
son
can be a
un
bit of a
punto de
shut off.
entrada.
I mean, there's people I know that I can't
Hay
just start to
gente que yo
talk about
conozco
spirituality
que
with
no
them.
puedo
But
hablar
when
de
I start talking
espiritualidad con
about
ellos.
the values that they're expressing and the
Pero cuando
things that they're
hablo de
doing
los
in their lives and
valores que están
really encouraging that,
expresando,
it's very
estás
supportive, especially when they're facing challenges. I
logrando
know that
ayudar a estas
beyond that,
personas a
even
enfrentar
in
sus
expressing values, there
retos.
can be obstacles. In a moment, we're going to
Y cuando
explore some
vamos
of
a
those things
expresar
that can
valores,
come
siempre
outside
van a haber
in terms of just the
obstáculos.
places that both you and Sharonah are serving. But spirituality
Pero la
and
espiritualidad,
spiritual consciousness, especially specifically, and of course, then the connection that that
es
enables to a
específica.
higher power is also becoming
Eso
increasingly
también.
necessary.
Eso se
People
está
even find it
convirtiendo en
more
algo
and more challenging
incrementalmente
to
necesario
express those values based
para
on
expresar
the
esos
prevailing
valores.
circumstances. And so I was thinking about this
Estaba
aspect of,
pensando
there's
acerca de estos
values
aspectos de los
and expression
valores
of those values. And
y la
then there's, you
expresión de
could
estos
say, for lack of
valores,
a
donde
better word,
podemos
pure
decir
values that require
valores
a
puros.
shift at a very deep level of that
Y podemos
quality of
ver que
consciousness. And I
la
would love to
cualidad
hear
de
kind of
nuestra
your thoughts on
conciencia ha
how
sido cambiada.
can you perhaps
Cómo
inspire or create a
podemos
bridge to someone
inspirar y crear un
to
puente
want to reflect kind of the idea of the mind doesn't
para
care.
reflexionar en la
Your
idea.
mind might be completely opposing you expressing values because of what's going on. But yourself, your truth is actually
Pero
very hungry, that pure
mi
essence of
verdad,
yourself. And how can
mi
that sort of
esencia
be
pura
brought to the fore so that you're starting
es
to
lo
express
que
from within rather than, if
ha
I'm in a great, if the weather's
despertado
good,
la
I can be really
necesidad de la
fine.
espiritualidad en mi vida. Y esto viene de
Could you
dentro
maybe
de
speak
ti.
to that if that's clear?
Yes,
I just,
Oh, is
sorry.
Sharonah back?
Yeah, maybe I will add her, but I have a request, very sincere request that slow down. The translators are requesting again and again.
Okay,
Sure,
thank you.
sure. Sorry.
No
I will
problem. Thank
stand. I am surprised. We have
Estoy
had
sorprendida.
back-to-back
Hemos
hurricanes,
tenido
two very bad hurricanes
huracanes,
recently.
dos muy malos recientemente en Florida.
One was Helene, and Helene hit, and I was
Bueno,
shocked by
una era
like you're
Elena
going through these residential subdivisions, and house after house after house after house, everyone's belongings are outside,
y
right?
todas
Because their
las
houses
cosas que la
flooded and they
gente
had to store
tiene en
everything.
su vida están
And
en las
then
calles
2 weeks later, Milton hits, and everyone gets flooded again, including we got
y
flooded.
las 2 semanas
And
después todo
so
el mundo está otra vez
the
inundado y
shocking
todas
thing
sus
is
pertenencias han sido
how,
destruidas otra
maybe
vez.
not shocking, surprising. The
Esto ha
surprising thing
sido
is how people banded
sorprendente,
together and helped each other. There was
pero
so much help.
hemos
Everyone
visto
was taking
que
care of
la
each other.
gente,
Everyone was
todo
helping
el
each
mundo
other.
estaba
And so
cuidándose
maybe
mutuamente.
that in extreme
Entonces, tal
situations,
vez
our innate values, right?
en
Like
una
these are
situación
innate core qualities
extrema,
that they come out because everyone were really helping each other.
hay cualidades internas que realmente están
And I wanted
floreciendo
to
en la
go back
gente,
to
donde les
something you said
da,
in the beginning of
quieren
this session and
ayudarse
even
los unos
now
a los
about truth.
otros.
I
Y
feel
estábamos hablando acerca de la verdad.
eternal truth and spirituality are synonyms.
Eh,
So anything that is
eterno,
spiritual
verdad
is
y
truth, and everything that is
espiritualidad, todo
spiritual
eso
is
son
truth and eternal.
sinónimos. Todo lo que
So
es verdad es eterno y
why
todo lo
can't
que
I
es
say
verdad
that
es
this
parte de la
laptop is
espiritualidad.
spiritual, right? right, or me using this laptop is spiritual is because the laptop has a lifespan. But
El
why
laptop
do I
tiene
say when
una
I am
época de
inculcating
duración,
certain values
pero
that
cuando estoy
that is
inculcando
spiritual
ciertos valores,
is
esto es
because
espiritual,
I, the soul, am
es
spiritual
porque
and these
yo, el alma,
values
soy
are
espiritual
innate
y
to
estos
the soul.
valores son innatos
So
al
they don't
alma.
ever end. They are
Entonces ellos nunca
eternal.
terminan, son valores
And I
eternos.
feel that
Y yo
the
pienso
best way
que
to get to any
la
value
mejor
is
manera de
to cut out
discutir
all of
cualquier
the fluff and everything,
valor
right? Is to
para
just
cortar
become aware of ourselves as
todas las
eternal souls.
arandelas
And
necesitamos saber que
when I
somos
become aware of
almas
myself as an eternal
eternas
soul, what is
y la
innate
manera en que
within the soul will
lo que es
emerge.
innato adentro del alma va a
Whatever is
emerger,
inside will
lo
start
que está
coming out.
dentro va a
You know,
empezar a
just like
salir,
parents, right? When you
como los
had
padres.
kids, no one gave you a
Cuando tienes
manual and said,
hijos,
okay, this is how
nadie
you
te
take
dio un
care of
manual y
kids.
te dijo,
So
así
many
es que tienes que
qualities
cuidar a
within you
tus
just
hijos.
came up because you're a
Y
good
todas esas
parent. It's the
cualidades
same
llegaron a
way
flor de
with
piel.
self-consciousness.
Es lo
When
mismo
you
con la
become
conciencia
aware
del
of
alma.
yourself as an eternal soul, like you
Cuando te das cuenta que eres un alma eterna,
exclude all the fluff and you start
puedes
living your eternal
excluir
values.
todas las
Thank you. And I
arandelas
guess
y
that is
empezar a
kind of
vivir
what
tus
I was
valores
thinking about as
eternos.
well.
Pienso
And,
que eso es lo mismo
you
en
know,
lo que yo
within
estaba
that,
pensando,
what
dice
I'm
la
hearing
hermana
again and
Tania.
again, and this is also from those who are practicing Raj Yoga.
Eso también
But the
es de los que
challenges is
practican Raya
of
Yoga.
that consciousness, of stabilizing, of getting into that consciousness, especially when faced with adversity, and especially in challenging circumstances.
Es bueno
Sometimes
poder
it can kind
ver
of
cómo la gente
springboard us
reacciona en estas
into, you know, I've definitely
circunstancias
experienced
de
where
los
I'm faced
problemas
with
que han
you know,
estado
a big
ocurriendo en los
test or
desastres
a serious
naturales
situation,
y ver que se
and it
ayudan
somehow works as a
mutuamente,
trigger too, but because of also the practice I've had. And I
pero
think how can
también por
we
la
make that
práctica que yo he
accessible?
tenido,
Practice of, if you will, being able to enter
me
into
ha
that
dado
spiritual consciousness. I know this is
la
what we teach. It's the
posibilidad
basis
de
of what we teach.
entrar en un
But sometimes
área
I
de la
feel it's still
conciencia
a struggle. There's
espiritual
still something, perhaps a way that we're approaching that. And I think the fact that if
y
people
pienso
are
que
interested in values,
la gente está
and you know, it's
interesada en
almost
los
like, well,
valores.
how interested I liked sort of stood out for me, and I think it was this idea of what are you willing to give
Y
up?
esa
What are
idea,
you, in one of the
¿qué,
sharings in the
qué
video,
es lo que tienes
this how much are
disponibilidad
you
de
willing
renunciar
to give, to
a
invest? I think it was Aruna Ben
para
was talking to
dedicarte
invest,
a una
so
vida
that
de
you can
crecimiento
actually enter
espiritual?
into that consciousness that will
Y puedes
allow
entrar
you
en esa
to
conciencia que
express
te va
that
a
those
permitir
innate qualities.
expresar
I guess
esas
maybe the
cualidades
experience, and maybe we'll
innatas.
invite you at some point to perhaps take us into an experience, or even now.
Y esto tal vez
What's
nos
your
puede
favorite
llevar a
sport?
tener una experiencia.
My favorite sport. It's
All
almost
right.
like
Okay.
that was
Never
a
mind
long
yours. We
time
can
ago.
ask Manoj Bhai. Manoj Bhai, what's your
Yeah,
favorite sport?
that's a good question.
Manush Bhai, ¿cuál es tu deporte favorito?
Sorry, I was just on the line with Sister Sharonah because I'm taking her on a WhatsApp call.
Estoy en la línea con la hermana Sharonah.
Problem with her system. She's just shutting it down and he's just taking her off. Sorry, I didn't hear you. You were asking me some value.
So what's your
Entonces
favorite
no
sport?
escuché su pregunta. My
Do we
favorite
watch sports
sport.
anymore?
I'm sure Manoj Bhai watches sports. What's your favorite sport,
No,
Manoj
not
Bhai?
really. I'm not a very sports person. So, okay, I'll just come back to this conversation later. I'll just take Sister Sharonah. Are you able
Just
to
give
hear
one
us?
answer. Okay, let's take cricket, right? Everyone in India
Yeah,
loves
cricket. I
cricket.
was going to say
Right?
cricket,
Let's
so
take
there we
cricket.
go.
Let's take cricket, and everyone in India loves cricket, right? And I don't know
A todo el
whether
mundo le
you
gusta en
interact
India
with it too
cricket.
much. I know there are a few players like whoever.
Yo no sé mucho.
Recall them.
Yo no me acuerdo.
Some batsmen, right? Dhoni, right? So Dhoni is an amazing batsman, and every street in India, including Mount Abu, people are playing cricket, right? Is it a different game
Y en todas
playing?
las calles en India están
They're playing
jugando
the same
cricket.
game.
Están
Every
jugando
street corner in India is playing the same game, and the
el
professionals are
mismo
playing the
juego.
same game.
Y los
They're not
profesionales
doing those
están
different things. They're playing the
jugando el
same game
mismo
with the same
juego, es el
mindset,
mismo juego,
right? What
las
makes
mismas reglas.
Dhoni, and what makes someone on the street corner just a amateur cricketer, right?
¿Y qué hace una
Um,
persona
the
profesional
Dhoni,
y
I
un
don't know if he has a
amateur
particular style of
cricketer?
hitting the bat or whatever, would have practiced that style of hitting the bat a million times.
Está
Again and
hablando de un
again and
jugador
again
que
and
tal vez
again,
ha
a
practicado
million
un
times,
millón de veces cómo
right?
pegar con el
And that
bate
is
a la
true for
pelota.
soul consciousness.
Y eso es lo
It's not
mismo para la
the
conciencia
special knowledge
del
that you
alma.
need. You just
No es
need
que
to
necesitas
practice the
un
basics
conocimiento,
again and again and
solamente
again and
necesitas
again,
practicar lo básico
right?
una y
People
otra
don't
vez
have,
y
like,
otra
let's
vez y
say
otra
Dadi
vez.
Janki, she didn't have special knowledge. She just practiced again and
Daddy
again and
Yankee
again and again.
practicaba
And that's what we
siempre,
have to do,
siempre y
right?
siempre. Y eso es
Do
lo
you
que
know the
tenemos que
most
hacer.
dangerous words in the English
¿Piensas que
language
las
is I
palabras
already know?
más peligrosas en el
Because
lenguaje de
knowing,
inglés es
if
ya lo
you
sé?
feel you already know,
Porque cuando te
then
sientes que ya
you
sabes,
are pretty much in effect saying, I don't need to
estás en
practice
un
this.
lugar
What
en el
new
cual
can I learn? What new can I learn? Right?
no estás
That
en ese
is
lugar donde, ¿qué
amateurs.
es lo nuevo que
You want
puedo
to be a
aprender?
professional values person? You
¿Quieres
have
ser
to
una,
pick your values and
un
practice that
profesional de
soul
los
consciousness,
valores?
simple soul consciousness, and
Tienes que
practice again and
escoger los
again and
valores
again
y
and again.
practicar
I couldn't agree with you
conciencia
more.
del alma una y otra vez y otra vez y
That
otra vez.
makes the difference.
Yeah, thank you, because it's such an
Gracias,
important point. And
porque es un punto tan importante.
within that, to ensure that my
Y para
practice is
asegurarme
very
que mi
accurate. You know,
práctica
we've been
es
given very
acertada.
specific aspects,
Nos han
points of
dado
knowledge,
aspectos
and to
específicos del
ensure that
puntos
those are
del
what I'm using.
conocimiento
And
y
you know, I've
necesito
come to
asegurarme que
align
eso es
this
lo que estoy
aspect of soul
usando.
consciousness or spiritual
Y
consciousness, because it's kind of what will provide a foundation for a very consistent expression of values, not a conditional or temporary, but it provides, empowers me to be very consistent in that expression. And I
muy
think, you know, one of
consistente
the
en esa
things we
expresión.
learn about values, we like values, we enjoy it when we express them, but then we see where we're challenged, you know, where we're finding that we're not able to express those values within certain circumstances. And why is that? How can
¿Y
we
por qué es esto? ¿Cómo
improve our
puedo
success rate, if you will?
mejorar
And
mi
I feel that the key is this spiritual consciousness,
y puedo seguir que la
that our
clave
supports
es
aren't coming
esta
from
conciencia
temporary
espiritual
Excellent.
y que mi support no llega
fluctuating
de cosas temporales.
environmental aspects, but coming, or even an individual, but coming from my own spirituality and
Están llegando de mi propia
connection to a
espiritualidad y mi
source that
propia
supports that
conexión
spirituality.
con la
So
fuente que
I
es
appreciate that
el
you
soporte
underline
de esta
that there
espiritualidad.
isn't any special, as you say, knowledge,
Y
or
no hay nada
sometimes we think, well,
especial
they've
o
been doing this for
conocimiento,
so many years. You
pero
know, it's
pensamos,
not
hemos
even,
estado
it's
haciendo
that
eso por
we have
tantos
so
años,
much attention to the
le he
basic
dado
practice
mucha
is one thing.
atención
And the
a la
second is that there's
práctica
never a
básica.
point, as you shared, where I feel I've done that. I no longer need to put my awareness there. Coming from a dance
No hay
background,
un punto en el cual dices
from
que
your
no
first
necesitas
class where
poner
you're
tu
basically running around the room in a
conciencia
tutu
en
maybe,
cierto
to
punto.
being, you know, the prima ballerina of a world-class dance company, your
En
warm-up,
algún momento yo iba a
the
ser
movement
la
that you do, the first thing that you're
bailarina
going to do, it's
prima
called
de un
plies. You're both doing it. And a really top class dancer, you know, there was a video at one
de
point of
una
a top
compañía
class,
de
world
baile.
class ballet
Eso
dancer
significa
who,
poder
with her
ser
coach, in this
una
hour-long video,
bailarina
was spent doing one of
de,
the most basic
de gira
ballet movements
internacional.
for an hour. And for most of that video, her coach had to keep stopping and saying, no, no, that's wrong. No, this is
Y
a
tienes
prima
que, para
ballerina.
que hagan un
And so
video,
the
tienes que
idea, first she
estar
had the humility to
practicando
present that, but to present the
por horas
idea that if you really want to excel, you need
Y
to
estar
put in the time, and
escuchando
you never
tu
need to, there's
entrenador
no
que te está
embarrassment,
diciendo,
there's
no, no,
no, you
así
need to
no,
ask
tienes que cambiar
questions,
eso.
but
No tiene
also
que
the
haber
love.
pena, no debe
You
haber
know, they
miedo de
love
tener que hacer
doing that
preguntas.
drilling. How much do you love
Tiene que
these
haber amor de
practices?
seguir
The
haciendo
expression
esa
of values. I
rutina
think there's just
práctica
this deep
diaria.
love that we want that to be part of our life and part of our expression. So the role of love. I'd like to go
Entonces,
back
ese es el
to.
papel que
Yeah, go ahead,
desempeña
please.
el
And then
amor en
we'll
nuestra práctica
carry on.
espiritual.
I wanted to talk about, just double click on what you were saying about the coach. Prima ballerina, right? She's not saying, I know everything, I don't need a coach, right? Every professional athlete, every professional dancer, every professional whatever, right? If you want to go to the Olympics, do you see anyone in the Olympics without a coach?
Nunca ves a una persona en los
At least
Olímpicos
one.
sin
At
un,
least
sin
one.
un
At least one, right? And so we all need a coach. We all need a coach. And for us in Raj Yoga, it is the supreme that we think of ourselves as a coach. But if you don't subscribe to that, pick a coach, pick someone you really look up to, who
para que sea
can help you. And I feel for every
tu
value,
entrenador,
you first need to
escoges
see
una
someone
persona a la que admiras.
to look at the values, see what that means, and keep thinking about it and keep trying to bring it into your life. And a coach will really
Necesitas
help you.
analizar cada uno de esos
Absolutely. You
valores
can't do this
y tratar
alone.
de implementarlo en tu
You
vida.
don't want
Eso
to
no
do
lo
this
puedes
alone,
hacer sola, no lo
actually.
quieres
And
hacer sola.
very, very important point.
Es un
So
punto
I'd
muy
actually like to
importante.
go back to this aspect of being, you have
Quiero ir
firsthand experience
regresar a ese
of being in a
aspecto de
situation
estar
very
en una
a lot of
situación.
upheaval. I mean, basically living in Florida is not a
Básicamente
matter
vivir en
of
Florida
if, but when.
no es
Now it just
no
seems like
es sí,
it's not
pero
even once a
cuándo.
year.
Ahora no
Before,
es
it
solamente
was,
una vez al
maybe
año.
every few years. Then every
Y
year. Now
antes
it's
era
several times, it seems, a
cada
year.
cierto
There's
periodo
some
de
kind of
años.
tropical storm hitting.
Pero
And,
ahora
I was thinking
hay
back
una
to, you
tormenta
shared that
tropical que te
within this
va
particular experience,
a
it seemed
golpear.
to generate a lot of
Y en esa experiencia
support,
particular,
helping
esto
out each
parece
other.
generar mucho
I do
soporte,
remember when
soporte
Katrina
de
hit
unos a los
that there
otros. Yo
was
recuerdo cuando
perhaps not
Katrina
that happening.
sucedió, que nadie
And
estaba ayudando a nadie.
sorry?
I remember when Katrina hit and how they really struggled. Yes.
Yeah, really
Yo
struggled just
recuerdo
with the
cuando
physical,
Katrina
the aftermath of that, but also it seemed to generate a
sucedió y
lot
como
of
la gente estaba sufriendo.
just self-absorption, well, just more caring about yourself than necessarily. I mean, not everyone, but
Y
that
la
seemed
gente
to be
estaba
an issue that was highlighted.
más
And
preocupada
I
por
also
ellos
remember,
mismos
just
que
for
por
other
los demás.
circumstance,
Pero también
I
recuerdo
have a
otra
sister who lives in
circunstancia.
Calgary. Many of you know her, Sister Judy.
Tengo una hermana que vive en
And
Calgary,
a
la
place
hermana
that's near the
Judy,
mountains that, it's not
cerca
even
de las
near
montañas.
an ocean or anything. And you would never in a million years think the
Ella
disaster
nunca,
that would hit there was a flood. I mean, I could never
ella
imagine that.
nunca, ni
But to
siquiera
see
vive cerca del
landmarks that I
océano
grew
ni
up
nada.
with underwater,
Pero haber
bridges,
visto
etc., underwater was extraordinary. And
puentes
that too
bajo el agua,
generated
porque
an
hubo
outpouring of support
¿cómo
and
se
help
llama?
amongst the community, amongst
Un
each other.
diluvio, ¿no?
But then there
Unas
was another
inundaciones.
side, and this is where the conditional element, and how can
Y
we,
aquí,
first of all, for ourselves, make sure that we're not conditional in terms of our expression of values, but also how can we support
podemos
and
no ser
inspire others to go
condicionales, cómo
beyond some of the
podemos
things.
inspirar a
And
los
one of them
demás.
was
Y uno de
that
estos
there was
fue
some perhaps not so charitable thoughts towards those who
que
were
había
deemed having a lot,
pensamientos
because a lot of the homes that were near the
amables
river where there was flooding
con las
were the
personas que tienen
wealthy
mucho dinero.
Calgarians, very, very wealthy
Porque todas las
Calgarians
personas que
who
se
lost
inundaron fueron la
everything.
gente que
And
perdió
sometimes there
muchas
was the
cosas, era
thought,
la gente que
well,
tenía mucho dinero.
it's not such a big deal, or
Y
not
la
as
gente estaba
much
diciendo,
compassion
no había compasión
And,
porque era la
I
gente
guess these
rica.
things in terms of, maybe this leads us back to why spirituality
Este tal
becomes
vez nos
more and more
lleva a por
essential
qué la
because of
espiritualidad
the
es más
kind
y
of
más esencial,
equalizing and harmonizing aspect of that
porque
consciousness.
tiene un
But in terms of, I
aspecto
don't
en
know
el
if that
cual
was
hace
something that
las
you
almas
were confronted
iguales.
with in terms of, on one hand, perhaps the support, but on the other hand, seeing individuals that were struggling perhaps to be more compassionate and helpful.
Yo me
And
imagino
what
que
you do in that
lo que
circumstance.
tuviste en las circunstancias que sucedieron, pudiste tener compasión por los demás.
And seeing that, not just perhaps being one of those people, but if I see that, how can I,
Si yo veo eso,
not become judgmental,
¿cómo
but
no
go
puedo
beyond?
juzgarles?
There's only one answer to that is
Hay
to
una sola
really
respuesta
become
para
a
eso.
detached observer
Es
and be
convertirte en un
neutral.
observador desapegado y ser
Like,
neutral.
don't judge. Like I'm seeing this person
Estoy
not
viendo esta
being the best
persona
version of themselves,
que
but
no se
I shouldn't
comporta,
be
no,
judging them,
no es la mejor
right?
versión de sí misma,
But
pero yo no debo
surprisingly,
juzgarles.
as
Pero
time went on, Katrina was
sorpresivamente,
about 18 years ago, I think. Surprisingly, as time
sorpresivamente,
was going on, I think it was, 18 years ago. Surprisingly, what I'm noticing is not just in Florida, right?
de lo que me estoy
Even
dando
in
cuenta, no solamente en
North
Florida,
Carolina, where the
también en el
Olympics
Carolina
made
del
flights and
Norte,
whole towns got wiped out. Whole towns
donde no
got wiped
estaban
out.
esperando
So many people,
que
like they
muchas de
are
estas
citizen,
ciudades
before there used to
fueran
be Red Cross
arrasadas
and all of these things.
por
But
el
now they are
diluvio.
citizen nonprofits, people who have just made some money and decided they were going to open a nonprofit, right? Citizen
Habían unas
nonprofits,
personas que habían hecho
really,
algún dinero y empezaron
so
a hacer
many
estas
places, and I
entidades sin
feel
ánimo de
like
lucro
I
que
was
están
saying,
ayudando a la
the
gente.
world has moved on
El mundo
from
sigue
wherever it was when Katrina hit to now, where a large number of people are waking up.
de donde sea que
And they
era
are
que
pockets
estaba
who are not
cuando
waking up,
Katrina
who,
sucedió
they have ridiculous ideas or whatever,
y
wanting to kill
ahora
FEMA people or whatever. But the thing, hello, Sharonah, welcome back.
Welcome back.
hello Sharonah, welcome, bienvenida otra vez.
But for me to just be neutral,
Pero para
I
mí,
don't need
para
to get
ser
involved
neutral,
in their low vibration. I just need to be neutral.
no necesito estar en su vibración baja,
So just to
solamente
catch you up
necesito
to
ser
speed,
neutral.
Sharonah, we've been exploring in terms of values and spirituality
Estamos
as a
explorando,
basis for
Sharonah, para que
empowering our
sepas qué es lo que
expression of
estamos
values
haciendo.
and what to do in the face of,
¿Qué es
perhaps
lo que estamos
seeing where
haciendo
adversity,
cuando estamos
which can
viendo la
sometimes
adversidad de los
really bring
desastres
out the best in
naturales que
people, but
sucedieron
also
en la
sometimes
Florida?
not? How can we face that and not be brought down by it? So Shireen
¿Cómo
then
podemos
was
encarar esto
responding
y
to
no
that.
dejar que eso
But
nos
perhaps another question
dañe
connected to it is in the face of adversity,
los
how
espíritus, ¿no?
can the expression of values
La
become a
expresión de
source
los
of
valores
empowerment and even
se
protection?
convierte en
So this
en un
focus,
recurso de
we're
poder.
here. This is a series to empower the expression of values and support spiritual
Esta
growth.
es una serie
And how can
para
why is that becoming so important? Not just to make
cómo se puede
life
convertir eso
better,
en tan
but even to
importante.
serve as, and how does it serve as a source, perhaps? Can it serve as a source of empowerment and protection?
¿Cómo puedo servir como
Would you like to speak to that?
a
Can you
una
unmute? Oh,
fuente
she can't
de
unmute
poder y de
herself. Can someone
protección?
help her?
Yeah, now she's co-host and you can.
There you go.
Thank you. Well, first of all, apologies for all this technological distraction. And
Oh,
thanks for
gracias.
carrying the ball. And I'm very, very sorry
Por,
that I missed what Shireen
lo
was saying.
siento mucho que no
It's
pude
a
escuchar
wonderful,
de lo que
wonderful
estaban hablando,
story.
esos problemas
And your
tecnológicos.
book, oh my goodness, I think
Y tu
says it
libro
all.
lo dice todo.
Goodness as a protection and a power, it's something
Tu
that
libro que habla de la
doesn't have great
protección,
press necessarily at this point.
algo que
Doesn't
no tiene muy
a lot of
buena
people still believe that retorting and
La gente todavía cree que
reacting seems to move things forward more than
la gente piensa que
kindness
reaccionando
or tolerance
de
or
manera
respect
negativa puede ser
or
más poderoso que
accepting
tener
the word
tolerancia o
faith
respeto
and trust. So I think one
y
of the
tener fe y
tasks for
confianza. Yo pienso que una de las
somebody on the
tareas,
spiritual path is to help
alguien en el camino
people
espiritual,
understand the power,
mucha gente entiende
not
el
just the
poder,
power inside goodness or
no
values or
solamente el
qualities,
poder
but the necessity,
adentro de la
the
bondad
necessity. And for me, that
y para
expresses
mí
itself on two levels or in two ways.
eso se expresa de dos
First of
maneras.
all, in these times,
Primero
we're
que todo,
seeing
en estas
extremes
épocas
of
estamos viendo cosas
violence
extremas,
and
violencia
a
extrema
humanity almost as if without values, principles, virtues. They seem to be a ruling force. And yet, whenever the pendulum swings to an extreme, there's no other place for it to go other than back to the
no
other
hay otro lugar a
extreme.
donde ir.
So that's one reason why we all need to be giving values and principles and qualities a good look and another chance, because these times are different than whenever else in history it seems like goodness would have lost the battle. We're in different times now. We're really reaching an extreme. But another reason to really
Otra razón
re-evaluate the importance of goodness
para poder
in
evaluar la
life
importancia de
is
la bondad,
because the world we have today is
porque el mundo
because
que
of
tenemos el
the
día de
people
hoy,
we've become.
por
That
el tipo
includes
de
me.
personas en las que nos hemos
And
convertido, eso me incluye a mí misma,
at some point or another,
y en un punto u otro
we really need to prove to ourselves that
necesitamos
anger
probarnos a nosotros mismos que
does
la
not
ira
accomplish anything.
no
It really,
logra
really
nada.
doesn't. Either does stubbornness and resentment and controlling behaviors.
Nada
It does not
se logra
accomplish
con estos
anything.
comportamientos controladores. Necesitamos ser honestos.
And maybe we've been able to be
Y tal
without
vez
that inner honesty for
sin esa
decades, regardless of
honestidad,
relationships or certain responsibilities. But now, in these
pero
times,
ahora, en esta época,
that's the call of time. We feel
esa es la
that's the call
llamada
of
del
time.
tiempo.
Protection, I mean, as a power, those are the two levels. Sorry, Tanya, you
Protección
want to say
como un
something?
poder.
I
¿Alguien
just
quiere
wanted
decir
to add
algo?
one thing, is that I love what
Quiero
you're
decir una
sharing,
cosa.
that
Me
we should
encanta lo que
prove
estás
to ourselves that
compartiendo.
anger doesn't really accomplish much, but also that
La ira
we have to
no
trust
logra
that our
nada, pero
values are going to
tenemos
help us. There has to be that deep trust.
tener confianza de que Dios nos va a ayudar.
And
Una
I would say
confianza muy
that it's
profunda.
different from faith.
No voy a decir que esto es diferente a la
Because with
fe,
trust, I'm
porque con la
experimenting. Here's
confianza
your
estoy
fearlessness and
experimentando.
courage. I've understood all about the law of karma. I've understood that every drop of goodness right now is contributing to
Cada gotita de bondad está contribuyendo a
much larger
un
than
movimiento
what
que
any
está
one
pasando.
human hand could hold. Night is now going to be morphing into day. Winter is now going to be moving into spring on the spiritual level.
el, el verano, no, el invierno está empezando.
Whoever raises their hand in front of God and says, I would like to contribute to that pool, energetic pool of goodness.
Esa pureza energética de la bondad que va a crear un mañana mucho mejor. Entonces, podemos entender que así sea una persona, así sea una sola persona, es muy importante. Y puedo entenderlo y programar las condiciones adentro.
My effort to go for goodness, go for a value or a virtue.
Y podemos llamar para la...
I absolutely have faith.
Esta es la diferencia entre la fe y la confianza. Tengo la fe de que la bondad se va a acumular para que pueda haber este shift, este cambio.
Checking myself.
Necesito chequearme a mí misma.
Reaching for that higher vibration.
Y necesito tratar de alcanzar las vibraciones más altas que vienen de adentro de mí y que recibo del Ser Supremo. Esto es lo que se necesita.
We're talking about an unfolding of a world plan, which is
y esto es de lo que estamos hablando.
One of us, but so important to be understanding and also proving to ourselves.
Moment by moment.
Momento a momento, dice la hermana Tanya. Y la hermana Shireen dice que quiere compartir algo que la hermana Sharonah dijo que es muy importante. Hay una historia de cliché que termina diferentemente. El mundo entero está en fuego, se está incendiando. Y hay unos aves que están tratando de apagar el fuego y están cargando poquito a poco poquiticos de agua. Y los animales se están burlando de los pájaros. ¿Qué es lo que estás haciendo? ¿Tú crees que ese poquito de agua va a hacer una diferencia en este fuego forestal? Y hay dos tipos de personas, los que no hacen nada y los que hacen algo. Y yo quiero ser la persona que hace algo. Entonces, no importa. Se puede sentir que sea lo que sea que estoy haciendo, solamente una gotica de agua, pero eventualmente voy a ser la que va a ayudar a transformar.
In the collective of actually who have done something.
Porque como grupo colectivo hemos hecho algo. That's an attitude, una actitud muy buena y una buena intención.
Go ahead, Shireen.
Sorry. The version I heard of that story is that the animals laughed and the little bird just was saying, I have to do something and I have to do what I can do. And the dedication and
y la dedicación y la determinación de las avecitas pequeñitas trayendo en este poquito de agua, trajo las nubes para que lloviera.
What it's doing is bringing in this other extremely important element.
Y eso trae otro elemento importante.
Transformation that the world is currently in. And that
en el
is
cual el mundo está aquí.
Not just there is a plan.
No solamente hay un plan.
There is a plan. and there's a director orchestrating this plan. And
¿Quién
the
está
parts
orquestando
of the one
este
above, call it the part of the
cambio?
divine, call it the part of God, call it the one of the highest intelligence, is very real.
La
You know,
parte
it's
del
not
ser
fiction at
supremo,
all.
de la
And I do
inteligencia
feel
divina.
one of the main
Y ese
purposes
es
of
el
a good spiritual
propósito
study is to
principal de una
understand
persona
at this
que
point
camina el
the
sendero
larger plan,
espiritual y
but then
quiere
who are the
transformarse a sí
players
mismo.
and what are the different roles being played?
¿Cuáles son los
And
diferentes
actually,
roles que se
I'm sure
están
you won't know, I
desempeñando?
know, Shireen, for sure, you wouldn't know,
Y
but
no sé,
Manoj
Tania, si
Bhai does.
sabes,
I
pero el
found
hermano
a
Manuch
very short
sabe.
video which kind
Encontré un video muy cortico
investigates
que
this
investiga
aspect that I just brought up, but
este
not
aspecto que
having
acabo
been
de
here
traer.
along, it might have already been covered, or it might have nothing to do with where you're all going already. So
No, we want to see it.
I
Pero
think it's
generalmente no
perfect. I
tiene
think it's
nada
very
que ver
timely.
con
I've
lo
actually
que
gone through all my
pienso
questions
que
here and
okay.
so much
Tengo
appreciate your
to write down.
responses. Absolutely. And I think it's a beautiful thing that this is
yo
part of
pienso
something
que
much bigger than each of us. But if
esto
each of
es
us do
parte
not
de
step
algo
up
mucho
and
más
decide
grande
to
que
get
cada
on
uno de
board, what
nosotros.
are we missing?
¿Qué es
Because the
lo que
world
nos
is
hace
going one
falta?
way, but destiny is going another way.
That's right.
Nosotros vamos en
And
esta
again,
dirección, pero el destino va en otra
I think
dirección.
you might have covered this, but I think one of our biggest downfalls is that we're
Pienso que
continually
una de
looking at
nuestras
others to understand what is my contribution, what is the value
errores
of
más
my
grandes es que no
contribution.
entiendo
And
cuál es el
we
valor de mi
get raised to
contribución.
think that our contribution or our doing
Y
as
nos
in
han
the part
hecho
of God
creer
is
que
something external.
que lo que
It's a
estamos
skill I've learned. It's a
haciendo
talent I've cultivated.
es un
Not
talento que
in
yo
these times
cultivé,
of great
no
extremes.
en estos tiempos
Actually,
extremos.
a very big role that anyone who wants to can play is to
Que
be one who's very determined and very focused
necesitamos
on
ser muy
lifting the next
determinados y
level
muy enfocados.
and putting that into the way I'm thinking and
Y
speaking
eso es
and
lo que
doing.
tengo que poner en
Because we
en la
only
manera
need
en
a
que
few
estoy
people to
hablando.
do this. We don't need everyone doing this. This is a big key.
Absolutely.
Anyway, you
So
want
this
to
might
see
be the
the video?
moment. Yeah, this might be the moment. Can we make
Este
this the
puede
moment?
ser el momento.
Yeah, Manoj Bhai or whoever is doing this video, can you just be sure to pause it at that point where I suggested it needs to be paused, not
So,
stopped, but
Manush
paused.
Bhai, puedes parar el
yeah,
video
thank you. So,
en el
Sister Anu, you
momento
can just pause it at
en que debe
26
ser
seconds, just to remind you of that.
detenido.
Very specific, yeah, thanks.
En el
26.
segundo 26.
26, good. Oh, here we go. Great. Somebody's very ready. And there should be sound also.
Just have to, in the icon down at the bottom, yeah, just click on that because it's muted. It's here on the bottom right at the bottom right side. Yeah. Or maybe then you have to share yeah.
It might be that it's not, sometimes when you move over to a screen share, just before that, it says share sound too. But it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
We can manage without sound. It's all right. I think I've created enough technological challenges to this program. I still have.
La hermana Sharonah dice que le ha creado muchos problemas tecnológicos al programa.
Yeah, let's see the whole thing. Get that large again. Your timing. Yeah, very good. Thank you for that. Okay, so let's hold this for a moment. If we could just get back to that right there at that frame. We can see that. Yeah, no, just hold that for a moment. Shireen and Tanya, there are two things wrong with this story.
Hay dos cosas equivocadas con esa historia. ¿Cuáles son tus pensamientos?
Does it have anything to do with the title?
Tiene que ver con
That is not mine. That
el
belongs to
título.
whoever put this on.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
Oh.
thinking the snow is so high that how is he going to get out of there, even if he cleared out his windshield and everything?
True, good point.
It's a mystery.
I'm suggesting there are two things wrong. I mean, what do we see here? Walk me through what we just saw.
¿Qué fue lo que acabamos de ver?
Man coming out
I
of
certainly don't think he's wearing enough clothing for that kind of weather.
Yo pienso
Seems
que no
like he's
tiene
not wearing enough
suficiente ropa
clothing.
para ese tipo
Really
de
it is.
clima.
What's he doing? What's the action there?
He's trying to open his
He's
car.
Él
He's
está
trying to
tratando
open
de
his car,
abrir
he's
su
trying to get
coche.
into it. And those of you who know the North know that this is real. I was also born in the northern United States, and your car was literally buried. Sometimes schools were canceled because you couldn't get out your door, the house door. Yeah.
Muchas veces
So
no
I don't know
podías
if
salir
Shireen
de
knows
tu
anything
casa.
about this in Florida.
Esto es
But
real.
Is his
yeah.
car
Sé cómo
frozen
es en
shut?
Florida.
Yeah, that's what would happen. Typically, first of all, you can't see until you get the snow off the windows.
No
And
puedes ver
yeah,
hasta que
typically you
quitas
gotta go with the handle too. It'll be frozen locked.
no puedes
But
abrir
there's
la
still
puerta.
two things wrong. Anything else?
The lights seem to be on in the wrong car, right?
Light
The
seems
car
to be on the wrong car. Something's there. Something's happened there.
right? Maybe he's cleaning the wrong car.
Maybe he's cleaning the wrong
Yes.
car.
Clean the wrong car. That's happened actually by quite a few people. Not personally.
Hay personas
but
que
with the
están
wrong car.
limpiando, que se han
If that's
equivocado y han
true,
limpiado el
that
coche
would be one
equivocado.
thing wrong. And what would be a second thing wrong?
Y si eso es verdad, eso sería
Well, then
una
he's
cosa
trying to open the
equivocada. ¿Y
wrong
qué
car.
más?
Then he's trying to open the wrong car.
Está tratando de abrir el
And we see
coche
this right from the
equivocado.
beginning again, and this time don't stop it. We go right to the end.
Very curious.
Esta vez vamos ¿qué? A poner el video hasta el final.
Oh.
Bad morning.
Okay. So, what's one of the two wrong things?
As Shireen Ben shared, he's cleaning the wrong car.
He was cleaning the wrong car. So this is not very good.
Estaba limpiando el
He's done
coche
all the work for
equivocado.
the neighbor, but he's got to start all over again.
Él tiene
What's
que
the second
empezar.
thing?
¿Cuál es la segunda cosa?
He doesn't seem to have the right equipment to clean
I
his
know, right? I was thinking, how can you with your briefcase
a
clean the windshield? That's not possible.
Yeah.
Impossible. Yeah.
That's right.
La hermana
Shouldn't
dice, no
there
tiene el
be
equipo
something better
apropiado, tú no puedes
today's world of
limpiar
technology?
parabrisas
Shouldn't
de
we
tu
have
coche
something
con tu
to do that
portafolio
quickly?
o con tu
And in fact, the
maletín
next
de...
reel after this is an advertisement for an automatic, like, instead of hair blower, it blows heat, and it's for quickly melting the snow from your windows and getting you in your car. So he's not only got the wrong
él dice
car,
que,
but he's
la
got the
hermana
wrong
Sharonah dice que esto
method.
es...
What's the spiritual message of this lovely little
¿Cuál
video?
es que este señor
Actually, we
tiene
were talking about that
las
earlier in
herramientas
terms of how we
inapropiadas?
approach our practice. Are we even going in the right direction?
Estamos practicando nuestra espiritualidad de manera
Or are you still
apropiada o
limping?
estamos limpiándole el coche al vecino.
Method is everything, right? Like people say practice makes perfect, but practice
La
doesn't make
gente dice
perfect. You can't just
practice
randomly
makes
do a
perfect.
practice. Good practice makes perfect. Like
Good
let's say
practice makes
you're a golfer
perfect.
or even a cricketer. We were talking about cricket earlier. You have to have the right
Estábamos hablando
batting
cricket.
angle, right everything. You can't just sit and bat randomly and think, oh, I'm practicing batting. It has to be the right method.
Accuracy.
So what is the right method?
Within the context of a spiritual practice or any practice?
Spiritual practice, and in terms of values and wanting to cultivate our values.
Right. Based on the spiritual truths we receive, the truth.
Yeah, it has to be grounded in spirituality.
I'll just share how
Tell us what you're thinking.
Struck me. Yeah, because what you're saying is absolutely right. So just to add to the pot, it occurs to me that we misunderstand even a spiritual practice. Somebody saying peace and stability is lacking. So what I would like to suggest is that we even could misunderstand a spiritual practice because we could be spending a lot of time trying to overcome the negative programmings and conditionings. In other words, we're working on the wrong car. We're working on the wrong form. A good spiritual practice should introduce me to my higher self and make my higher self, that form of light, the pure spiritual being sitting here, more real than my bodily form. But we're still working on the bodily form, where I've developed programmings and conditionings which don't carry my principles and values. We're still trying to remove those. We're still trying to face and confront those instead of putting all our attention and working on our light form, our highest form, our beautiful self. The methodology being based on this idea, and we have to prove it to ourselves, that I am very good. No matter how much the arrogance, bossiness, disrespecting has become part of my character, that is not how I've been made. And there's a very short limit to how much working on my bossiness and my controlling and all of that will actually help. But this method, focus on the other form, my beauty, my truth. Use the whole of your spiritual practice to get to know that divine self and love her, love that truth. Convince yourself, like we were saying before, prove to yourself that that's not just the power of the day, the thing that's going to swing the pendulum, but that these times are for bringing us back to our divinity and our beauty. There are two short stories about
Sorry,
that,
just interrupt because I want to make sure we're good for time. I know that we've probably gone over time, but what I really love what you've brought up, and it's so important that we're not fighting with not being bad, but we are nurturing that ultimate goodness and light. Beautiful, beautiful.
All attention has to go
Is
there.
Absolutely.
At least this is my experience at this point.
Absolutely.
Enough just to identify the wrongness. That's ego. But then all the stuff on, what is behind all of that, the goodness behind it.
Yes. So just make sure you're working on the right car.
Exactly. The right form. And with the right method.
And with the right method. It's wonderful.
I must say, the higher force, the supreme, the divine is available to us in these times of extremes in ways that force simply hasn't been before. To explore that, to enter into that wavelength, to pull that into my life, That's the warmth, that's the heat, that's the love that's going to melt all that ice. It's not just me alone with my idea to be a better person, but it's much bigger picture with a much bigger power who's present in order to help me do this. That's the right method.
Wonderful. Thank you. I am going to now hand this back to Anu Ben. I feel you have something to tell us.
I have, but well, time is finished as we planned, but worth it, as you said, Sister Tanya, that Sister Sharonah, thank you for bringing that. You said clean the eyes. I think that's right. I have another thing in my mind, but this is a celebration for 4 years of cleaning. So we'll just make sure from today on that we're cleaning the right part with the right method and cover yourself. Ice melts, but can we cover ourselves with the ice of values, all the values? And why I'm saying that is that it's a celebration today. As we celebrate today's occasion, celebration is not complete without a cake, lighting a cake, then with our seniors for vote of thanks. But I think I want to bring this to everyone's notice. Oops. There you go.
Ah.
So it's covered.
Ah.
It's this drizzling of values. I hope we stay covered and we light it. What do you think?
The icing of values. Yes, the icing. How do we get some of that cake?
Exactly.
On Zoom. No, you will be offered on Zoom. I'll cut it and bring it to you. No? And while we eat, we'll think of you, and that's how you get that yummy flavor of the cake. And everyone who is here, it's celebrating each one of us. Let's open our video. Let's feel the light as I'll leave the light of this candle that let the light of values be lit in your lives forever. And can we do that now? While in presence of definitely Sister Claudia and Dr. Mehta. And of course, Brother Manoj, and as you know, the big team behind and all the participants, it's a congratulations to all of you. Can we bring the light? Light. In the silence, but with the music of all the values, what's playing in your heart. Let's make a wish. Let this light of values beautify our life every moment. Okay, so we'll try to cut the cake. Let's see if it reaches to you. Can we do that? Here is a knife. Ready? Oh, okay. Values or Om Shanti. That deeper music in your heart. Did that. Here is the beautiful cake.
Wow. I think I did taste it. Yeah, it's good. Very good. Very sweet celebration. Congratulations to everyone.
To the with hand, but let this light and the sweetness of values be always.
Esta parte no necesita traducción.
What is next?
Gracias a todos.
So thank you so much. Oh yeah, we are having people's backgrounds also changing. Suddenly Sister Sharonah is in a different world. Okay,
Los
fantastic.
backgrounds de las personas están cambiando. Le voy a pedir al doctor Ashok Mehta y a la hermana Claudia que den las palabras de agradecimiento.
Thank you, Sister Sharonah and Shireen and Tanya.
El hermano saluda a las tres hermanas por primer nombre.
I know her for more than 30 years. The first time I met her in
Te
Boston.
conozco hace
She was
más de
teaching
30
in the
años. La
University of
primera vez
English.
nos conocimos
And
en
next time I
Boston
met her in Tel Aviv.
y después
And
la
I
conocí
just,
en Tel Aviv.
I would have
Me la
loved
encontré
to
en Tel
hear
Aviv.
from her. How do you practice values during these difficult times
Y
which you're facing?
me
You know,
imagino que
we are
ustedes
far
están
away from
haciendo
it.
una práctica de
But
valores
if
muy
you have to be in
importante
your
en
situation,
esta época
how
que es muy
would
difícil
we
en ese
conduct our
país.
business and how would we remain
Y
peaceful
estamos
and
enviando
happy?
muchos
That would be
buenos
what we are
deseos
going
de
through a
amor y
tough
paz.
time. Of
Y
course, you are in Madhuban at the moment, but
yo sé
presuming
que
that you
estás en
would
Madhuban en
be
el
in Tel
momento.
Aviv at this point of time,
No
how would have
sé
loved
que no
to
estás
have
en Tel Aviv en este momento,
faced the challenge in a
pero
spiritual way.
entendemos que
Of course,
esto ha
this is
sido
I don't know if
un
there's time for that. I very much appreciate the care and the love behind that kind of
aprecio
question.
mucho
But I
tus
need to know
palabras.
from Tanya if there's time for
Necesito saber de
responses. So
Tania que si hay
I need to
oportunidad para
know from
responder.
others.
Necesito
Yeah,
saber,
so
oír
let me
de los.
tell you, we can go until 9:30 India time. Please don't worry. As it
Ah.
is, we have workshops for 2 hours always, so don't worry. 9:30
Yeah,
p.m. is
actually,
fine.
that was one of the questions that unfortunately were not with us. But in terms of Shireen been in Florida and facing that kind of extreme circumstances, but I also had the question as
Sabemos de
well,
las
thinking of
circunstancias
you both
extremas
and you in Tel Aviv in a situation that's
y
also
sabemos que la
actually
situación en Tel
unimaginable
Aviv
for many of
es.
us. So it'd be lovely to hear your sharing.
Nos gustaría saber que quiere compartir con nosotros.
Just to say that
Es solamente decir que
pretty much what I've shared up to now has been the
lo
kind
que
of
compartido
thought process
antes
that we are
es
putting
un
ourselves through.
proceso
We
de
of the Brahma Kumaris in
pensamiento.
Israel, and I'm sure
Los Brahmakumaris en Israel
people around the planet who
y
are
la
in these
gente alrededor
conditions
del
of war,
planeta que vive en estas
and other
condiciones
very
de guerra
dramatic, uncontrollable circumstances.
y que están viviendo circunstancias dramáticas y difíciles de
The
controlar.
larger picture
La
is extremely important, and you have to
foto más
keep
grande es
applying it.
extremadamente importante y necesitamos seguir desempeñándola.
The practice of gratitude and appreciation
Y la
has
práctica de
ever held
gratitud y
importance for me,
aprecio,
and I recommend it as a practice. There's never a situation in which
no
it's
hay
more
nunca una
important
situación en la que sea más importante
such circumstances.
como estas
I'm very
circunstancias.
grateful, and I appreciate
Estoy muy
very much this
agradecida y
chance
aprecio
to
mucho esta
practice
oportunidad de
stable,
practicar estabilidad,
keeping myself stable
de mantenerme a mí
in
misma
a
estable
peaceful thought
y en
and feeling
paz.
about what's going on. It's a
Y
very important practice.
es una
Not
práctica
to
muy
be
importante,
influenced by the
no
violence
dejarnos influenciar
and
por
to
la
know
violencia
myself as a non-violent
y
person
conocerme a mí misma como una
and
persona que
continue with
no
that
practica la
proof
violencia.
that non-violence is the truth. And now is the time for that pendulum to swing. Let me be someone
Y
contributing to that
déjame
swing.
ser
So
alguien
it
que
happens
está
sooner rather than
contribuyendo
later.
a
So it's making myself
sinergia que está
responsible,
moviendo
not
a las
just for my own
personas
well-being,
que
but
quieren
take on the larger
participar
plan. There are huge benefits in that.
en beneficios para todas las almas del mundo, no solamente para las almas de un país
Because
o de una
according to
organización.
the philosophy of the Brahma Kumaris,
Y de acuerdo a la
God
filosofía de
is
los
a major player
Brahmakumaris,
in this larger plan. And
Dios es uno de los
I feel it's a great privilege and great honor to be able to play my part alongside of the divine God.
yo pienso que es un gran privilegio que yo pueda desempeñar mi papel de la mano de Dios.
Not one thought out of
y no puedo darme el lujo de tener un solo pensamiento afuera de la confianza, el amor de Dios, la conciencia del alma y el beneficio para todas las almas del mundo. A pesar de todas las cosas que están sucediendo, cuando escuchamos las bombas, las sirenas para las bombas, y cuando escuchamos las sirenas de las bombas, ponemos la música del control de tráfico y podemos expandir las vibraciones de y podemos ver en los lugares donde la gente que se esconde en los refugios en contra de antibombas. Vemos como la gente se esconden, algunos lloran, algunos se ríen, otros están muy callados. Y la vibración de la meditación de Raja Yoga, de alguien que está practicando, es una influencia muy grande. Y tú sabes que es el ser divino. Esas son las épocas donde estamos confrontados entre lo que es diabólico y lo que es bueno, ¿no?
And your area will also have that chance
también
soon in the upcoming future, because we really are in times of extreme.
Porque realmente estamos en tiempos extremos y hay la responsabilidad de remover el péndulo al otro extremo.
Thank you, Sharonah. That's a very inspiring and important message.
Gracias, Sharonah. Este es un mensaje muy inspirador y
Already
muy
ready or
importante.
already in that experience that
Si no estamos listos, sabemos que estás.
Thank you so much.
Muchas
By the
gracias
way,
por lo que
that's why I
compartes.
changed my background to flowers. It
Por
goes
eso
with the
cambié mi
gift to
background
celebrate,
por las
focus
flores.
on blossom, blooming, and beauty.
Absolutely, beauty.
Porque
I
esto
like
va
the beauty
con
part
la
that's also
belleza,
something
los
a focus for me as well.
nuevos florecimientos de flores.
The right car. Maybe we can go back to
Y la
Dr.
celebración, ¿no?
Metabai if you wanted to share a few other thoughts.
I have always looked at Sharonah Ben. Whenever I look at her, I'm
Siempre que
always
miro a
reminded
Sharonah
of
Ben,
Mother Teresa.
me acuerdo de la Madre
Teresa.
Teresa.
She has the same structure and similar approach. So
Ella
I
tiene la
really
misma
enjoyed
estructura.
listening to you. I think
He disfrutado mucho
if
escucharte
there's
en
any
esta
place
charla a
where
todos ustedes.
the practice of spirituality should be
Estoy muy contento de que la práctica de
done in a
espiritualidad
right way in which we have been practicing and learning is the right place where you are. That's the toughest. And I think that's, Baba would say that this is the examination. You have to pass the paper and then you get the marks. So there you are.
On
You
all
have a,
sides, on all sides.
Yeah.
Israel, Gaza, Middle East, Ukraine, so many places all around the globe.
any place is as good or as bad or as tough. But amazing that you have been able to keep your balance so well.
has tenido la oportunidad de mantener tu balance.
Happy to see that.
Estoy muy feliz de ver eso. No te he visto hace muchos
I
años.
should have been in Madhuban at this time of the year, but I have some commitments in Mumbai, so I couldn't come.
Yo generalmente
Seeing all of you.
Dubana está en esta época del año, pero este año necesitaba atender a
Montreal, but that was
responsabilidades en Mumbai.
I don't think I was even here yet.
Yo no creo que yo estaba aquí, dice la hermana Tanya.
The Shireen Ben I missed because I have been to Florida a couple of times, but to Miami, but didn't have a
Shireen
chance.
Ben,
But
he
thank you for
estado en Florida
your
2
thoughts, and I
veces.
think we are
Gracias por
learning
compartir
every
sus
day after many,
pensamientos.
many years from each other.
Y estamos
I
aprendiendo
think these value
mucho.
workshops have given an opportunity
Yo
of
pienso que estos
looking into
talleres nos han dado la
deeper
oportunidad
experiences. Thank you very much for sharing. We
de
enjoyed it.
profundizar en nuestras experiencias. Muchas gracias, Om
Shanti, it
Shanti.
was very nice to hear from Dr. Mehta and also asking Sharonah
Om
to
Shanti, dice la
give us
hermana
some real
Claudia. Es muy lindo
points
escuchar al
to
doctor
apply life right
Mehta.
now.
Y también
And
de
because we
Sharonah
have been
nos
studying
pudo
those
contar de
values, I
los
always say that
puntos
we study and
y
sometimes we
cómo
see
hemos
one
estado
value needs to
estudiando
be increased. It's time to
valores.
go back and listen to from the seniors what we need
Es
to do
bueno
to improve.
escuchar estos
And of course,
programas para cómo
let's
podemos mejorar.
Shireen was saying that we need to go deep into that soul conscious. So all those
Y
things
tenemos que
comes
movernos
together.
profundamente
So
desde la
when we come to the
conciencia del
situation
alma.
like she has, other has different situation. We all have our situation. Sometimes a war outside, sometimes a war
Algunas
inside.
veces
And
hay
some
una
situations are
guerra
different,
afuera, a
but
veces una
still at
guerra
the end,
adentro.
we have to bring the values
Pero
update
necesitamos traer
and
los
make sure that we are
valores
using them so we can go to those
y
situations.
asegurarnos de que los
So
estamos usando.
it was a pleasure to have all those
Fue un
values, and of course I
placer
think to
escuchar
hear
todos
from
estos
different ones.
valores
And even
y
today here,
escuchar
Tanya
nuevos.
asked those questions, and both sisters answered those questions.
Gracias a las
And
dos
like she
hermanas.
said, we have to know the method. We have
Tenemos
to know the method,
que
and
conocer
then
el
we have
método
to practice.
y
So when the
después
time comes,
necesitamos
like
practicar,
Sharonah is
practicar,
going through
practicar.
now,
Entonces,
and
cuando
Shireen
la
for some
época
time, I went
llega,
before too. I know what it is when you see the rivers just coming and taking over
yo
their
sé lo
house.
que es.
So then we know how the things comes and how we react that
Sabemos
moment.
cómo
That
es que
moment
eso
is just whatever
sucede
is
y cómo
inside ourselves that
reaccionamos a este
reacts.
momento.
So that's why we
Todo
have
lo
to
que
practice
está
for those time.
sucediendo
And
adentro de
like I always
nosotros,
say,
necesitamos practicar para
we
estos
have practicing for
tiempos.
fire comes, what to do. Now we are practicing here for earthquake, so we know
Ahora
what to
estamos
have to do.
practicando aquí
So then the same
para
also the
los,
practice of the values also have to be know the method and then
¿para
practice.
los
Was
qué? Para
very
los
good to hear this today. Remind us,
terremotos,
hey,
para
know the
saber qué es lo
method,
que tenemos que
practice
hacer.
every day. Thank you very
Tenemos
much
que
to all
practicar
of
todos
you.
los días.
Thank you.
Gracias a todos ustedes.
And
Gracias.
also thank you to translators as well and those who
Gracias a las
record
personas
the
que hacen
videos
las
so that we can hear it again
interpretaciones
and again.
y a las personas que graban todo esto para
Thank you
que
so
podamos
much, Dr.
escucharlos
Mehta and
una y
Sister
otra
Claudia.
vez.
And just a quick
Gracias.
announcement.
Y
You would be
tengo un
wondering why Sister
anuncio.
Shireen has disappeared. So she just had to leave for some other commitment. So she apologized
Ella
for that,
tenía
but
que
we had her
irse,
for the
tenía
entire
otra
session otherwise.
reunión.
So once again, I'll just pass it on to Sister Anu now. Over to
Y
you
ahora
for
le
the
damos la
announcements
palabra a la
and the
hermana Anu
photographs.
para los anuncios y las fotografías.
Yes, so quickly, let's see what's coming up. We are full, right? Full with
Pero
our
vamos a ver
values.
qué es lo que
So
viene.
prosperity is the time now, as they also celebrate
Prosperidad.
the sign of prosperity, Diwali. So the value that we'll discuss for
El
episode
valor que
101,
vamos a discutir
101,
es el
Values
valor
for Life series next episode
101.
is prosperity. In Hindi, it's
Tenemos el
Samriddhi.
valor de la
So it's happening
prosperidad.
next Saturday, 26th October, same time. We'll have our very
Esto pasa el
dear
26 de
senior
octubre
brother,
al mismo
from
momento.
Brazil. I don't know if he's traveling and joining from Madhuban too, but he is the regional coordinator of Brahma Kumaris in Latin America.
Y ella es la el hermano Ken O'Donnell es el coordinador de los Brahma Kumaris en América Latina. Y después, el 2 de noviembre, tenemos el programa 101 en prosperidad.
November, same time. First hour will be the exercises, second hour will be the insightful
Tenemos
meditation.
ejercicios y
We'll have
tenemos
Sister
una
Anjani
charla.
and Sister Rona joining from
Tenemos a la
Brahma Kumaris
hermana
Manhattan, New York, USA.
a Yani, a la
Please
hermana
join
Bruna.
us then. And followingly, just after 12 hours of that workshop, we'll have the silence retreat on prosperity.
Y
This
ahora
is
tenemos
based
un
on
retiro
the
de
Brahma Kumaris
silencio el
teachings.
3 de
Well,
noviembre.
open to everybody, whoever is practicing Brahma Kumari's teachings or not, because it's silence and deeper reflection. So
Es
we
una práctica para
welcome
todo el
you to
mundo.
join and experience. And you can find us on our websites, vihasa.in and
Y nos pueden
vancouver.brahmakumaris.ca.
encontrar en nuestro
All the
website.
videos, including today's, will be on our YouTube
Y
channels
todos
as
los
well as
videos
this playlist.
están
So we'll see you in the
en
next
nuestro
one.
canal de
But
YouTube.
right now we'll have our
Y
photo. I
ahora
would request
vamos a
everybody
tomar
to
una
open
foto.
your
Le vamos a pedir a
photo
todos que por
in
favor
your
abran su
iPhone,
pantalla
shine your light, so that we can make this moment
para conmemorar
most
este momento
memorable
y hacerlo memorable.
and make our lives shining with value. Okay, I got the photo. Thank you, everyone. I would also now will request all the team members, whoever are here, to
Ahora le
open
pido a
your
todos los
video, and
miembros
we will
del
spotlight your image.
equipo
Actually,
para que
participants too,
abran su
whoever
video.
will have their video open, will flow the light to
Para
spotlight
poder
you in the last meditation song.
usar la
So I'll invite everybody to open your video.
spotlight.
And now is the last meditation of the session. Brother Nikhil will.
If love were a bird, I would stroke her bright feathers. Then I'd watch her fly free, cross the still of the dawn. And if peace were a mountain, we'd gather around her to bathe in her silence, her power, her call. If wisdom could sing, or
Thank you once again to the participants, the translators, the recorders, each one of you, and also our dear speakers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Bye. See you soon. Keep shining with values. Let's keep shining.